Well, hello again folks. Hope you're all still keeping well out there, and welcome to another video. This is a bit of an odd one really, as I received a call from a lady asking me to give her a hand with a very aggressive hooded crow. They have I don't know, I suppose you could call it a small holding, with 2 or 3 small paddocks around their home, which they have sheep and lambs in. Now, our general licences here in Northern Ireland allow us to control the likes of hooded crows and magpies for the protection of livestock, which is something I've been doing more and more with my 17 Hornet centrefire. But because I'm so close to other houses and I'm setting up at 5 AM in the morning, I've had to leave the powder burners at home and opted for the high powered air rifle. Another problem the homeowner had, which I found quite odd, was the crows were actually attacking the windows of their house as well as the wing mirrors on their vehicles. Now, I've heard of robins and wagtails doing the same thing with car wing mirrors, picking a fight with their own reflection, but never a hooded crow. It got so bad apparently they actually erected spikes out around the windows to discourage them. The little pop-up hide that I'm using is called the Bush from bushwear.com, and the camouflage net I draped around it has a ghillie suit type material, and it's from Nitehawk. The sheep unfortunately are still in the field and usually end up making an absolute nuisance of themselves, but thankfully this time they stay well out of the road. The bait I'm using is a dead rabbit, and the decoy I have is another hooded crow that I shot somewhere else and set up on a little wire cradle that I make. I set them out at 30 yards. I know that's quite close for an FAC air rifle, but I wanted to stay this side of the reeds, as I was worried if I went any further the reeds might block my shot. Okay, the hide's built, the bait and decoys out. I just need to get loaded up and ready, as I had a feeling that this might kick off pretty quickly. The rifle that I'm using is a Mark 1 FX Crown with a 500mm barrel and .22 caliber. The scope is a Bushnell Tactical Elite 2-16 by 42, which I have a Tactacam Solo and FTS unit fitted to it to film through the scope. It didn't take the crows too long to spot the bait. They were a little shy at first, but soon dropped down in for a closer look. The last time I was out, I had good success with the 25 grain H&N Slugs at 852 feet per second. Let's see how they do this time. That's one down, with the second one landing straight away to see what happened to its mate. Don't you love a silenced air rifle? But it won't sit still, and just as I take the shot, it moved and I missed. Unfortunately, the scope cam footage is a bit cloudy. Either it's the moisture in the air with the rain, or the camouflage net's too close to the scope lens. Ah, I was really annoyed at myself for missing that. Thankfully the bird didn't go too far away and was watching from the sidelines as the rest of the corvids in the area, jackdaws and so like, started kicking up a fuss along with the hooded crow. During all the commotion, I had noticed a magpie had landed and had started to tuck into the dead rabbit. Now, we can shoot magpies for the protection of livestock, but the hooded crows was my main target, so I let the magpie be. And I think for that reason, it gave the hooded crow confidence to land again. It was still very nervous, so I had to bide my time to land it in the right spot. I think the magpie spotted the movement, but thankfully not the hooded crow. And this time I made sure of the shot. Those 25 grain slugs might only be doing 852 feet per second, but they've got a lot more knockdown power than the lighter weight slugs and pellets, travelling around 900 feet per second. I was quite chuffed with myself, as that was 2 birds down inside 15 minutes. I gave it a wee while till things settled down outside, then went out and set the 2 birds I'd shot up as decoys. It must have been half an hour more before I noticed another couple of hooded crows floating around outside, one of which thankfully landed right down in with the decoys. The other crow took off and circled round quite noisily. It was at this point while editing I realised the plastic bag I put over the camera to help keep it dry actually was sitting in front of the lens a little. Oh well, live and learn. The crow finally landed, but it was that far to my extreme left hand side I literally couldn't get the gun turned on to it, but hoped with patience it would come in closer. Unfortunately no, and it finally flew off. So, after a bit more of a wait, I dandered out into the rain and set my latest victim up as a decoy with the rest of them. It was quite a wait before another hooded crow landed, and even then it landed way out across the field, further than I would like to shoot, especially since I had forgot to bring my rangefinder again. So I patiently sat and waited for the crow to walk in closer, which took quite a while actually. So once I was pretty confident that it was about 40 yards or so, I took the shot. Again, I gave things time to settle down around me, then dandered out to rearrange the decoys a little to try and pull another bird down. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I was spotted, as I could hear a hooded crow not far away in the treetops. Unfortunately, all I pulled in was some jackdaws and rooks, which sat in the power lines above me. I'm not really interested in shooting these birds, and with the houses in the background, I don't think it would even have been a safe shot. I even started wailing on the Nordic crow call, but to no avail. So I eventually gave it up, as I could hear the people in the nearby houses starting to go about their daily business.
Well, bit of an odd morning this morning. Got asked this to help with a problem with hooded crows, but it's quite a small paddock full of sheep and lambs in it, so hence the air rifle. Managed to get 2 adults and a couple of juveniles this morning, but there definitely is 1 or 2 more, because I can hear them in the background but they won't show themselves. Used the dead rabbit split open as bait, and then I had this hooded crow, which I got last week, set up in a little wire cradle, make it look as if it's sitting on its own 2 feet. But even though I set it over the top of this juvenile to make it look as if they're fighting, to try and get that last hooded crow in, it didn't work. And people are starting to wake up around me. There's houses nearby, again hence the air rifle, and I can hear people waking up, moving around, so I'm going to call it quits, and the crows seem to have lost interest as well. So home, breakfast, warm up, nice cup of tea. Cheer bye folks.
Well folks, that's the end of another one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm certainly finding a new love for the FX Crown again. Now I've found a projectile and a speed that works well with the hooded crows. I suppose the next thing I need to test them on is rabbits maybe. But anyway, until then, take care and look after yourselves, hey.